Let's talk about swimming with men, given that Rob hasn't just walked past.
I was in the area.
He was in the area.
And I saw the light was on.
He was looking for Eddie Mayer and the PM team to have a chat. And he
got
thought
a nice voice, hasn't he, Eddie Mayer?
Has he? I don't know. I never listened.
Very, very soft voice.
Anyway, here's Robin.
Can you do Eddie Mayer?
Well, I'm trying to now.
Oh, is he? Sorry.
Just very, I've never done him before, but he's got a very, very soothing voice, hasn't he?
That's good.
I'm sometimes not even sure if he's still doing it.
No, it's the wrong network anyway. Swimming with Men is the new movie, and it stars Rob Brydon as Eric, the accountant. Anyway, tell us about the film. Tell us about Eric and the whole story that we get.
Well, Swimming with Men is, I suppose, it's a comedy, but it's got a lot of heart. It's the story of a middle-aged man played by Eric, middle-aged but strangely alluring, nonetheless, with an hard-to-define sensuality, and he's in an unhappy marriage with Jane Horrocks, which is hard to imagine, but he is. And he's unhappy at work. He's an accountant. He's hit a brick wall. So he finds his comfort at the swimming pool, swimming. He just ploughs up and down, hiding from his wife. And then one day, he looks under the surface, and there's a group of middle-aged men all sat on the bottom. Jim Carter is there, Daniel Mays, Adele Akhtar, Rupert Graves, there's many, many. And they are a synchronized swimming team, because it's a real thing, this male synchronized swimming. I end up joining the team. I leave my wife, live in a motel, join the team, and we enter the World Championships.
There you go, and there's the film in a nutshell. So there's a whole different number of levels to look at this film. It is funny, and there are some laugh out loud moments, but it is profound, and it's moving as well.
Yeah, I think it's kind of about men being getting to a certain age and not knowing where they are, and what they get out of being in this group. That's this kind of touching thing about it, is they get real comfort. There's a sort of send up of Fight Club in that they have their own rules, and you don't talk about swim club. You leave your personal life at the door, sort of thing. But all of the men in it have some chink in their armour, something that's niggling at them.
And the true story that it's based on is it Swedish?
Sweden. There's a documentary that people may have seen called Men Who Swim, which was all about a Welsh guy, just coincidentally, called Dylan, who went out to Sweden met a girl and he moved over there, couldn't find his feet there. So in an effort to integrate, he joined this synchronized swimming team. And they actually appear in our film at the end. When we get to the World Championships, I think they play the Swedes in that.
And I was feeling fantastically proud of myself when
He's going to quote himself.
No, but he knows anyway. I've already told him this. I said it should have been called the Pool Monty.
It's a lovely quote.
It is a lovely, and I did a little whoop when I thought of that.
Thought of it. Good.
I've already deployed it.
I know. I noticed.
I've already deployed it. I mean, you don't sit on gold like that, do you?
You're not.
No, you invest it.
But it's the idea. So I want to talk about the swimming bit in just a moment, because I imagine that was pretty tough to get right, because you're doing. It looks as though, unless you have a stunt double, it looks as though you are doing everything yourself. But the idea of men adrift, is an interesting one, and the fact that it's a middle-aged male film for men trying to work out where they fit in. And there's bereavement and there's divorce and all that, and that's really the heart of the film, isn't it? That's the grist of the film.
Yeah, it's men suddenly. I think I'm 53, and I think you can get to a certain age and realise that the end is hopefully a long way off, but it's in sight nonetheless. You can go, oh, okay. And I think a lot of men start looking at, well, what have I done? Have I achieved what I wanted to achieve? Where am I in my life? Whereas in the past, you can think, well, in the future, I'll sort all that out. That's further down the road. And especially now, with all the gender politics that are very front and centre, I think it's quite a fitting time for a film that looks at men wondering, well, what am I meant to be doing?
So the answer that your guy comes up, Eric the accountant, he, as you mentioned, he loves being in the pool anyway. He joins the synchronized swimming club. What are the basic moves that you had to get right, and the move maybe that you're most proud of in the synchronized swimming department?
The move I'm most proud of is a thing called, I've seen it called the loop or the caterpillar. You're lying on the surface, about 5 of you, head to toe, with your feet around the neck of the next person, and the next person behind you with his feet around your neck, and you basically then arch your back, and like the track of a tank, the wheels, you do a circuit under the water. So you have to hold your breath, but also you're not in control of when you're going to come back up to the surface, which is a very unusual sensation. normally whenever you're underwater, you think, well, I've had enough now, I'll go up. And I remember in this, having Thomas Turgoos's legs around my neck and thinking, now, does he know what he's doing? I'm relying on Thomas Turgoose to decide when I head back up to the surface. Is very, very worrying.
And who was behind you?
I think it was Rupert. Grace.
So he's thinking the same about you.
No, he was thinking, I'm in safe feet here. There's no danger with Rob.
Okay. So that's the one you're most proud of. But in terms of just learning how to do synchronized swimming,
the hardest
most
thing.
People will still associate primarily with women.
Yes.
What are the moves that you have to master to actually even attempt all this?
The mainstay is a thing called the egg beater. If you can picture a Ronaldo step over, but in reverse. So legs up at 90 degrees to your body, thighs, and then
Could you actually do this? And this is obviously a treat for webcam viewers. If they go by the Five Live website, maybe as Rob is explaining,
I'll try it.
Maybe he could do it as well.
I'd love to. So you're in the water. So the water's coming up to about shoulder level. You bring up your legs like that, and you've got it kind of over they go. So in and over, faster than this. And the ones that can do it properly, they raise out of the water to waist level. It's astonishing.
What, just powered by the kind of propellers of their legs?
Yes, but if you look at the muscles, I mean, it's the kind of thing, isn't it? Synchronized swimming. People have a chuckle about it, but good Lord, give it a go. It is exhausting.
I'm sure.
It's a bit like when footballers went and did that ballet training, and do you remember there was some documentary, and they go, "Oh, this is going to be a doddle," and they were just wiped out by it. Well, this is the same, because you're in the water. Even if you're not attempting a move, you're blooming having to tread water and stay afloat.
Yeah. Okay, so let's play you a clip from the film. This is Rob and the ensemble cast here with a clip from Swimming with Men.
Nearly landed on my head.
You're not focusing.
Distribution in the stack is wrong. For this to work, it has to be equal, which means we have to take height and weight into consideration.
Meaning?
Well, meaning you can't be next to your man because he needs to be next to somebody less fat.
You calling me fat? Archie, you calling me fat?
Well, you could do with losing a little bit of...
Oh, yeah? Yeah? Well, you can take that back of yours to the barber's, mate. It's like trying to wrestle with a yak.
You're just jealous because you're wearing thin, fat boy slim.
As is your banter, mate.
Oh, yeah?
Verdant and lustrous, mate. Oh. Guys, let's do it again.
What are you doing?
Yeah, come on, we've got to practice the throw.
Can't do the throw without a flyer, and we haven't got a flyer because we haven't got Tom.
He's a bloody liability.
Right, that's me.
Brilliant.
Line's ticking away and the clock's getting louder.
Do we get everyone in there? I think
you did, yeah.
Apart from Jane Horrocks, obviously, because she's not in the...
Yeah. That was Charlotte Riley as our trainer.
She's great.
Wonderful. And you heard Jim in there, Jim Carter, and all the guys are there.
So if you spent presumably quite a long amount of time in quite close physical contact with those guys in the pool, which is quite exhausting, and in your trunks, which is, it's obviously a fairly intimate experience. Did you all get on well? Because the whole point about the film is that whilst they're all together and whilst they're doing this synchronization thing, it's their own sort of personal conflicts that come to the fore and battle, and it's partly about that. But did you all get on with each other? You're very different performers.
Yeah. We did get on well with each other, but if you are in the water, when we started the shoot, there were 12-hour days, all the pool stuff for about 2 weeks, and everybody's got a different way of working.
Yes.
So, for example, you'll get to the end of a take, and you know you're going to go pretty quickly to the next take.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're ready to go. We're ready to go. Hang on a minute. Where's X or Y? They'll remain nameless. Or there's X. He's over at the side of the pool.
I'm going to say that's Daniel Mays you're talking about. I'm just guessing.
Well, that's a very good
Jim
guess.
Carter.
That's a very good guess.
Okay, it is Danny Mays, right?
Over at the corner, goggles off, nose clip off. What are you doing? We're treading water. Get back over here. Okay, so then the goggles go back on, which if you're treading water and you're exhausted, it takes a long time. On they go. Then the nose clip, gentle swim back to join. Yeah, what are we doing? And then, okay, we're ready to go. But where's Y? Well, Y is nowhere to be seen because he's having a swim around under the water.
Is that Jim Carter?
No. Jim was exceptional. I will hear nothing said against Jim Carter.
So it's not him. I'm just narrowing down. Is Adil Akhtar?
Rupert.
No, but seriously, it was true that everybody has their own way. I'm very much the sort of person, I come in, I want to do the job. and go home.
Workmanlike.
Right? Workmanlike, mediocre. You know, I'm a plodder. I'm happy.
9 to 5.
Journeyman.
Yeah. Journeyman. Thank you very much. Journeyman. Is that a compliment? So I would do that. But there's others want to lark around. You know, I'm not a big corpser, for example. I rarely start laughing in the middle of a take. But that would, you think, oh, come on, I'm trying to stay afloat here. Literally and figuratively.
But there must be, I mean, when you're in that position, I mean, I swim because I've got a funny old back, but I have tried, after seeing the film, I did try.
Oh, did you?
Oh, my word. You just sink.
Yes.
But not even funny sink. You just sink.
I'm so glad to hear you say that, because I get the feeling when I'm telling people how hard it is. They're looking at me and going, yeah, well, it's exhausting. Give it a try. There are moves now that you can do. And we shot this last year and then went on a summer holiday and I was going, right, kids, watch what Dad can do. And I went to do it. But of course, without the nose clip, you really need the nose clip for a lot of these things. You basically drown without it. It's hard.
Did you have to do some tough physical training anyway? And have you stayed in shape? You're looking amazing, obviously, Rob.
Thank you. I don't think that question needs to be asked, Simon. I'm at the peak of my powers. We did 2 weeks of 3 hours a day in the pool. Exhausting. 3 hours a day in the pool. We all changed shape. We all toned up. I was sleeping like a baby. And I'm at an age where I'm trying to stay healthy and fit. I can see that you are, Simon.
Absolutely work very hard.
Mark is in the room as well.
Thank you.
You know, it's for some people it's not as important as for others, is it? They let their personality do the work, and that's important. But I try and stay in shape.
I got an email here from.
Look,
Do you wear anything other than black, by the way, Mark?
No.
Is it okay? All right.
No.
Fair enough. It's good. It's a trademark.
It is. This is what I wear.
Yeah,
I
love it.
I have an email from someone who's seen your film in Germany.
Yes.
Okay? This is from, I think it's Onka. Thank you for the email. Dear doctors who have been helping me improve my English since 2008. Swimming with Men in Germany. The film has already been released here.
Yes. Is it called Help Swimming with Men?
And I've watched the German dubbing today, which is Saturday, together with my 70-year-old mum. So this means you've been dubbed into German, I imagine.
Yeah, that is true.
Why
are you laughing, Simon?
The war is over.
No, it does not have to be about the war. The minute you do a German voice, could be anything. Could be car manufacturing.
I can't believe we drifted into this territory.
We both... I apologise to Onka.
Stop interrupting, Simon.
We both like British comedies, and this made for a lovely mother and daughter afternoon at the cinema.
Come on.
It did take a bit of time to get used to all those half-naked male bodies, as we don't often get to see that on film. But it passed the 6-laugh test easily, and I enjoyed the beautiful underwater shots.
Aww.
Some of those I wouldn't mind putting up as posters in my flat, says Onka. I wouldn't have needed that love triangle. When the one man just plants a kiss on the woman's lips, even though she is clearly into the other one, it made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, well...
The camera cut away and I prefer to imagine she slapped him right after the kiss. This is an unusual take on the underdog sports team film genre, but an enjoyable one. Even if the film has some lengths and stereotypes, I did feel for the characters.
I think in a swimming film, you're always going to have lengths.
That's right. Anyway, and then Onka concludes, tinkety-tunk old fruit and down with the nuts.
That is the best piece of ad hoc criticism we have ever had read out on this programme. Strange and yet precise.
Well, you talk about dubbing. Here's a dubbing story. The Trip films have been dubbed into different languages.
This is the films you do with Stephen.
Yeah, the Manchester comedian, big in the 90s. And there is you can see this on YouTube. They did The Trip to Italy dubbed into Spanish. So you get an actor assigned to each of you. So it starts off, and it's Steve speaking mostly, and they've given him a very, very macho voice. So it starts off, I think we're in the car, and he's going, and I'm just looking at him, not saying anything. I think, I wonder what they've given me. Then we're in a restaurant. Again, it's Steve. Nothing from me. I'm thinking they're going to have a voice that contrasts with Steve, but it won't be too extreme. Then we're back in the car. Steve again. I finally speak. That's not an exaggeration. It's basically Pingu and Alan Partridge.
Is it on
That
YouTube?
would be-
I want to see that.
It is,
now.
yeah.
it on
You can see that
YouTube?
trailer, yeah.
If there was a film, Pingu and Alan Partridge, I would definitely go and see that. Pingu coincided with Child 1 being like 5 or 6 years old, and we used to watch Pingu all the time.
We all saw all the episodes of Pingu.
Nothing wrong with Pingu, nothing wrong at all.
I think I mentioned this before. There was one particular episode which is clearly about grief, where Pingu's dad is the postman, and they arrive at a house, and there's a widow there, clearly, and looking very upset, and they hand over a letter, and there's a lot of tears and grief and so on, and then they get back onto the sledge. It goes off too fast, and Pingu falls off the back, and it's a moment of slapstick. So the grief is there for like 3 or 4 seconds, immediately undercut by the slapstick. You're thinking, whoever put this together,
Genius,
has an absolute genius. Really knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't know we were going to talk about Pingu.
Just say, when you were doing that, you got a little bit like me talking about
You
Leave
did.
No Trace. You did. You
Can't get
literally
upset
You started filling up.
No, I never did.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we've got a couple of minutes left.
Yeah.
Rob, everything's going fantastic. There's loads of Rob Brydon everywhere you look, but tell us what's coming up in the next few months, because there's lots more.
Yeah, okay. I'm back on tour in...
Not that, the
what
movies.
Else? Oh, the movies. Oh, I've done a bit
Holmes and Watson.
Oh, Holmes and Watson, the Will Ferrell thing.
I mean, I'll do it if you want.
All right, Holmes and Watson with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly and Ralph Fiennes and people like that.
You said Ferrell was lovely.
Oh, you won't find anyone nicer and funny. Likes being funny as himself. So what a delight. You just feel like you're doing a bit with him. I can't praise him highly enough. I've done a bit in Gurinder Chadha's Bruce Springsteen film, which I'm so excited
How is your Thunder Road?
Well, my word, if it's not good, it's going to be embarrassing.
You actually sing Thunder Road?
Yeah, I gave it my best shot.
And when you work
Be kind to it, Mark. Be kind to it.
When you're working with Will Ferrell, are you still 9 to 5 then? Do you turn up, or you just want to get it done, and then you don't want a corpse or anything?
No, I'm hanging around.
Rob, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. How lovely to see you again. Thank you very much indeed for coming
Great
in.
to see you both too. Thank you.
Swimming with Men is the new movie starring Rob Brydon, Danny Mays, and a bunch of unreliable folk.
Chances.
Chances. That's
Opens
right.
next week.
And it is out next week.